Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 5 Reddit stories for you. AITA stories that will make you question family loyalty. Story 1. I told my niece her bio mom chose drugs over her. So I've been raising my niece since she was 3 years old, and I just had to tell her the truth about her biological mother, and now I feel like the worst person alive. Let me back up. I got custody of her when the state took her away from my sister. My sister was living in a drug house, she was deemed unfit, it was bad. Like, really bad. I stepped up because someone had to, and honestly, I love this kid like she's my own. I've explained things to her a million times over the years. I've shown her court documents when she got old enough to understand them. I've had the hard, frank conversations with her about why her bio mom isn't in her life. And none of it changes her opinion of the situation. She's convinced that her mom loves her, that her mom would be there if she could, that it's somehow not her mom's fault. I've tried to get her into therapy to work through all of this, but she flat out refuses to go. Won't even talk about it. So a few days ago, she was having one of her moments again, asking why her mom doesn't want her, why she couldn't just get better for her sake. And I don't know, something in me just snapped a little. I sat her down and I told her, straight up, that her bio mom didn't love her more than she loved drugs. That's why she couldn't see her. That's why the state stepped in. I told her that a mother who really loved her child would have done whatever it took to get clean and stay in that child's life, and her mom had every opportunity to do that and chose not to, over and over again. She got really quiet. Then she started crying and ran to her room and hasn't really talked to me since. My partner thinks I crossed a line, that I should have found a gentler way to say it, or waited for a therapist to help guide that conversation. But I've been trying the gentle way for years. The soft explanations, the age-appropriate versions of the truth. Nothing has worked. She's getting older now and I feel like she needs to hear the blunt reality instead of a watered-down version that lets her keep believing a fantasy. I keep replaying it in my head, wondering if I should have chosen different words, or if the truth just needed to be said plainly for it to finally sink in. I love this girl more than anything, and the last thing I want is for her to hate me over this. But I also don't want her spending her whole life chasing the approval of someone who was never going to show up for her. So, was I wrong to finally just say it like it is? What would you have done in my position? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. My sister wants me to raise her kid and I said no. So my older sister just asked me to basically become a parent overnight, and when I said no, she called me the most selfish person alive. Let me give you some background on her first, because context really matters here. My sister, we'll call her H, has always been the entitled type. And when I say entitled, I mean she genuinely expects everyone around her to drop everything the second something dramatic happens in her life. A while back, she and her boyfriend got evicted from their apartment. They ended up moving in with a close family friend who was incredibly generous and let them stay basically for free while they got back on their feet. But of course, H being H, she ended up having some kind of falling out with this family friend. I don't even know the full details because every version of the story changes depending on who's telling it. But the bottom line is, she and her boyfriend got kicked out of there too. Now here's where it gets wild. Instead of asking to stay with me, or figuring out a plan for herself and her boyfriend, she asked me to take in her son, my nephew, while she sorts her life out. Just hand him over to me, no real timeline, no real plan for how long this would even last. I'm 20 years old. I have my own life, I'm still figuring myself out, I don't have a stable enough situation to suddenly become a full-time parent to a small child. And it's not like I don't love my nephew, because I do, he's a sweet kid and none of this is his fault. But raising a child isn't something you just say yes to because your sister is in crisis mode again. This isn't the first time she's expected people to bail her out either. It's honestly become a pattern with her. Something goes wrong, and instead of taking responsibility or making a real plan, she looks for someone else to catch her. This time it just happened to be me, and the ask was way bigger than usual. When I told her I couldn't take him in, she completely lost it. She called me selfish, said I was abandoning family, said I was choosing my own comfort over my own nephew's well-being. She brought our parents into it too, and now half the family is looking at me like I did something monstrous. But here's the thing, I don't think saying no to raising someone else's child, when I'm not equipped for that at all, makes me a bad person. I think it makes me realistic. I offered to help in other ways, I offered money where I could, I offered to babysit here and there, but full-time care was just not something I could take on. She wanted an instant solution and I wasn't able to be that solution. So now I'm the villain of the family group chat. Am I really the bad guy here for not being able to raise a child I'm not prepared to raise? What would you have done? Story 3. I wore a bikini in the hotel hot tub and my coworkers lost it. So apparently wearing a normal bikini on a work trip makes you unprofessional now, at least according to my coworkers. Let me set the scene. I work at a mid-sized marketing firm, and last week a group of us, 9 people plus our manager, traveled out of state to onboard a new client and get their campaign set up. Pretty standard work trip, lots of meetings, some dinners together, nothing unusual. Our hotel had a pool and a hot tub, and one evening after dinner a few people suggested we all go relax there for a bit. It wasn't mandatory, it wasn't some big organized team thing, it was just a casual, hey, whoever wants to come hang out, come hang out. I went up to my room, changed into my bikini, grabbed a towel, and headed down to join everyone. It's a normal bikini, nothing crazy, nothing you wouldn't see at literally any public pool or beach in the country. I didn't think twice about it. When I got there, a few coworkers were already in the hot tub, we chatted, relaxed, it was actually a nice break after a long day of meetings. Nothing weird happened, nobody said anything to my face. But then the next day at breakfast, I could feel this weird tension. Some of the women on the trip were kind of side-eyeing me and being short with me. Eventually one of them pulled me aside and said that some people thought it was inappropriate for me to wear a bikini in front of our manager and male coworkers on a work trip. Apparently there was a whole conversation about it after I left the hot tub the night before, about how it gave, quote, unprofessional vibes, and how I should have worn a one-piece or just not gone at all. I was honestly stunned. First of all, it's a hotel pool, not a boardroom. Second, several other women were also in swimsuits, nobody said a word about theirs. Third, nothing inappropriate happened, there was no flirting, no weird behavior, it was literally just a group of coworkers relaxing in a hot tub after a long day, fully clothed in swimwear like every single other person at that pool. When I brought up that other people were in swimsuits too, I was told it was different because mine was, and I quote, more revealing. It wasn't. It was a completely normal, coverage-appropriate bikini. I feel like this is such a double standard, and honestly it feels a little bit like slut-shaming dressed up as concern about professionalism. I didn't do anything wrong, I didn't act inappropriately, I just wore normal swimwear to a pool on my own personal time during a trip. But now I'm getting the cold shoulder from a few of my female coworkers and I'm wondering if I actually messed up here somehow. Was I wrong for just wearing a normal bikini and enjoying the hot tub like everyone else? Or are my coworkers reaching here? Story 4. My sister wants to share our dead mom's necklace and I said no. So I lost my grandmother a few months ago, and now my family thinks I'm the bad guy for refusing to split my mom's necklace with my sister. Here's the whole story. I lost my grandma a few months back, and weirdly enough it happened on the anniversary of my mom's passing, which honestly made the whole thing feel even heavier. My grandma had this necklace that she gave to my mom before I was even born. My mom wore that necklace literally every single day of her life. I don't have one single picture of my mom where she isn't wearing it. It's in every photo, every memory, every moment I have of her. So somewhere along the way, in my head, I stopped thinking of it as my grandmother's necklace and started thinking of it as my mom's necklace. When my mom passed away, the necklace came to me. My grandma never said anything about it at the time, never claimed it back, never suggested it should go to anyone else. It just became mine, and I have worn it constantly since then. It's basically the one physical thing I have that connects me to my mother in a way nothing else does. Now that my grandma has passed too, my sister has suddenly decided she wants to share the necklace with me. Like we should split time with it, or alternate wearing it, or something like that. And I get why, I do. My sister loved Mom too, and I understand wanting to feel connected to her through something tangible. But this necklace isn't just a piece of jewelry to me, it's the last physical piece of my mom that I carry with me every day. It's not something I can just hand off every few weeks or months like a library book. When I told my sister no, that I wasn't willing to share custody of the necklace back and forth, she got really upset and accused me of being selfish, of hoarding Mom's memory, of not caring about her feelings. Now other family members are getting looped into it too, and everyone seems to think I should compromise somehow. But I don't know how you compromise on something like this. It's not like we can cut the necklace in half. Wearing it isn't just a fashion choice for me, it's genuinely part of how I process my grief and stay connected to my mom. The thought of not having it around my neck, even for a little while, actually makes me anxious. I've offered to get my sister a similar necklace, or even a piece made from the same style, but she says it's not the same, and honestly, she's right, it wouldn't be the same. But that doesn't mean I'm obligated to give up the one that is. Am I wrong for refusing to share it? Should grief and sentimental value even be something you're supposed to split fairly among family? Story 5. I told a man on the bus to move his legs and chaos erupted. So I finally called out a manspreader on the bus today, and somehow I'm the villain of the entire commute. Okay, so this is something that's honestly bothered me for a long time. I've always had an issue with people who spread their legs wide open on public transport, forcing everyone else to squeeze by awkwardly without stepping on their feet, while they just sit there like they own the entire bus, completely relaxed, like it's their personal living room. Today, I got on the bus and immediately spotted a guy, probably mid-50s, doing exactly that. He was sitting with his legs stretched so far into the aisle that anyone trying to pass had to basically step over his feet just to get by. The bus wasn't even that empty, there were people standing, people struggling to shuffle past him with bags and groceries, and he clearly noticed and just did not care one bit. So I decided enough was enough. I walked up to him and just said, pretty calmly, "Hey, can you move your legs, some of us are trying to get through here." And you'd think I asked him to give up his firstborn child the way he reacted. He got immediately defensive, said the bus was public space and he could sit however he wanted. I told him that being in public space doesn't mean you get to take up 2 extra seats worth of room with your legs while other people are struggling to walk past him. He scoffed, rolled his eyes, and made some comment about how women these days are always looking for something to complain about. At that point a couple other passengers actually started chiming in, some agreeing with me that he genuinely was taking up way too much space, and one guy even laughed and said, "Mate, just move your legs, it's not that deep." The manspreader got all flustered and huffy, and finally, dramatically, moved his legs like it was the biggest inconvenience of his entire day. He proceeded to mutter under his breath for basically the rest of the ride, shooting me dirty looks every so often. When I got off at my stop, I heard him say something to the person next to him about how rude young people are these days. Now I'm wondering if I actually was rude for just asking him directly instead of trying to squeeze by awkwardly like everyone else seemed willing to do. My friends are split on this, some say I should have just gone around him without making a scene, others think he deserved to be called out directly since he clearly was doing it on purpose and didn't care who he inconvenienced. So, was I the jerk for just asking a grown man to not take up half the aisle with his legs? Or was he just embarrassed that someone finally said something? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.